Good evening, people. Good morning, people. Good afternoon, people. As I always say, wherever you're tuning in from this beautiful planet of us, you're very welcome to the Daily Grizz, your daily roundup show. I call it the Daily Grizz, but I'm not very daily recently, am I? So apologies. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I was out playing golf with the lads from the Big Six yesterday. So unfortunately, I couldn't do a stream. But just to let you know, I was playing golf. I still got the attire on. I didn't sleep in it before you man start. I took it off before I go to sleep, but I put it back on. And I put it back on, and I put the screen on. And of course, welcome to Ty first and foremost. First time on my channel. It's been a long time coming. Been meaning to chat to you. Well, we chat off screen, but meaning to chat to you on screen for a little while. But you've not been well.
Yeah.
Busy, but we're good to go today. Yeah, welcome to
Good
the channel.
to go, man. First of all, shout out you for having me on the channel. Great to see what you're doing. Make sure you're liking, subscribing people and supporting the content. Obviously, my stuff, Trafford Tunnel for my Manchester United content, Never a Foul for our generic stuff as well. And yeah, it's been a long time coming, Grizz. So thank you very much. And big up Dan as well for jumping on. Like I said off air, I messaged you today for the first time ever, and now we're on a stream together in the same day. So it was meant to happen, man. So yeah, big up everyone that's watching as well. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, of course. Both the brothers' links to their channels are in the description. I managed to do it this time. I'm getting good at this game. When I get good at this game, the world's in trouble. That's all I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, the world's in trouble. I'm telling you now. I've learned how to put links in the description. You know what I mean? You're not fucking ready for me. But listen, Tyrone, jokes aside, welcome. And
thank you.
Actually, not jokes aside, because as soon as we put the cameras on, I saw your cap. You saw my cap. I saw your beard. You saw my beard. It's like I'm looking at a younger version of me, Ty, man. Like, I hope you don't take that the wrong way. I hope you take that the right
all right.
way. You know what I mean?
Your beard's neat. Your beard's neat, so I'll take that.
Yeah, a few greys in there now, you know what I mean? But it's what it is, man. But listen, it's all good, man. Welcome. And of course, the returning Dan. Dan, what's happening, mate? One of my favorite gunners. How you doing?
Cheers for that, man. Big up yourselves, big up your channel, the Daily Grizz. Let's make sure that doesn't turn into a weekly Grizz. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be as daily as it can be, man. Massive fan of you, massive fan of the channel, subscriber, and I watch your content when I can, because sometimes it's good to get away from Arsenal, man. So, but great to be on, man, and good to meet you, Ty, as well.
Yeah, love that, man.
Legend, absolutely. Let's kick off, because we're going to make this a quick, dynamic, bang show and try and get through as much as we can. And you know what I do, guys? I'm not going to lie to you. Whenever there's news to catch up with, and we're talking legit, proper culture news, the go-to guy always for me is only one man. And I always go to his page and we see what's happening. And it's David Ornstein. We start off with the small clubs. We're saying, Dan, the small clubs over the.
Yeah, I like that. Let's start with the small clubs. I like that.
We can start off with the small clubs, you know. So David Ornstein here says Tottenham on the verge of total agreement with Middlesbrough to sign Jed Spence. Talks between Daniel Levy, Steve Gibson, player rep have produced a breakthrough. If all goes to plan, medical expected. This was kind of been on the periphery, wasn't it? Like for ages now. They started off nice and early. They got what's his name? Perisic, I believe, was one of their first signings, wasn't it? Then they got Basuma. Then they got Richarlison. Now they got Jed Spence. It looks like Conte went in there nice and early, knew what he needed to do in terms of positionally, in terms of the profile of player, and it looks like they're doing some sound business. Dan, do you know much about this player, and what do you think about their business overall?
Yeah, I do know enough about this player because he absolutely annihilated us in the FA Cup against Martinelli, who's you're cool. Martinelli, you are really rate, and I think a lot of people rate. You give him a torrid time. He's a player that I was amazed Middlesbrough allowed to go on loan to Nottingham Forest, but that did happen, and Forest absolutely got the best out of him. And I spoke to Mr. Dorr, who's a great guy from Nottingham Forest content who comes on my channel, and he just said, you know, we really like him. We're not going to be able to keep him. He's just going to go to one of the bigger boys, and of course, one of those bigger boys, joking aside, is going to be Spurs. And I do look at this situation, Grizz, and I feel like this is everything I didn't want to see happen as soon as Antonio Conte said, yes, I'll come to Spurs, because I knew it was going to happen. Because if you back the guy, he will do bits, because that's what he does. He's a winner. He's not going to stay there long term. Hell, it wouldn't even surprise me if he leaves after this year. But he'll do something this year. He'll get something. He'll win a silverware. He'll probably put them third in the league behind Liverpool and City. this is what I'm going for. Right? And I believe Jed Spence and Perisic will probably be the wing backs, and then he's brought in Lenglet to play alongside Romero and
Oh, I
Dyer.
forgot. Yep.
Yeah, very
He's
good
got
ball playing defender as well.
very good ball playing defender, someone who absolutely killed it at Seville and was okay at Barcelona. But trust me, Conte will get good things out of him. Fraser Forster's come in to back up Hugo Lloris. They've got Richarlison. They've already bought Bentancur and Kulusevski under this regime of Conte. And they've got Kane and Son to add to Bissouma, who I mean, is everything I wanted in a midfield at Arsenal. I'm looking at this team completing what I think is 3 or 4 very good signings, and I'm worried, mate. I'm worried, I can't lie. I'm not worried about Tottenham winning the league. I'm not worried about Tottenham doing bits in the Champions League, but I am worried about what they can do to some of the clubs, because I think they're a very good outfit under Antonio Conte now. And I looked at their squad last season and just laughed and thought, if this guy gets top 4 with this lot, what could he do when he's backed? And it's looked like he's going to get backed in the summer. So, of course, I'm worried as an Arsenal fan. I don't think Chelsea fans would like to admit it, but I think they are probably worried to be looking over their shoulder. And I don't know what Liverpool fans and Man City fans are thinking, because I think they are a class of the rest. But I do think they would be worried about Antonio Conte's side, who, let's be honest, Grizz, both teams, Liverpool and City, struggled to beat Tottenham under Antonio Conte last season. Everybody started getting excited when Mikel Arteta's Arsenal played very well at the Emirates against Man City, but actually lost that game. Tottenham took 6 points off of Manchester City last season and were very difficult for Liverpool to beat at Anfield. Yeah. So for me, this is going to be a Tottenham excitement for those Tottenham fans, and I hate to see it, man.
100%. I'm in total agreement with you. I think the business they've done has been shrewd. And what I like about the names that I just put up there earlier and what you've gone through, right? What I like about these names is they're not necessarily names that you could say were as a result of them getting top 4 Champions League. They are names that you can see have got Antonio Conte written all over them in terms of what he wants, what he requires, what he needs in his head for this Spurs outfit. I want to ask you. So, I mean, Dan, you've said that you're cool with it. You're a bit stressed out with it. So you're not cool with it. You're stressed out. You know they're going to be there or thereabouts in the top 4 position. What you're fighting for, Ty. I want to ask you from a Man United point of view. You're in the process of. We're going to get to your dealings as well. But how are you looking upon the business that Spurs have done? Because for sure, they're one of the teams that you have to finish above if you've got any aspirations of finishing the top 4.
100%. I think I'm going to work my way backwards from how Dan said about, Liverpool and City. We know that Liverpool and City are, you could say, the class above. However, with Liverpool, obviously, they've got to change their dynamic a little bit with Darwin Núñez coming in, but I don't think it's a massive change, even though people are like, Mane's gone and so forth. However, when you're talking about a Tottenham team that people, I'm not saying it's going to be actually happening, but people are having conversations about if anyone's to break the Liverpool and City mold, it would be Tottenham. Now, I've had this conversation with many group chats just to see what the general consensus is. And for me, if Liverpool slack and Tottenham can get the whole squad contributing for 8-9 months of the season, this is not 3 months and then Kane drops off and Son drops off, consistency, they're going to be there to be picking up the scraps for that second spot. And that's what Antonio Conte is trying to do, because I think, Dan, when he said about Spurs and the way they finished the season, it was a strong end to the season. They got the job done when people say they bottle it. And at the end of the day, now they've added to their squad. Now, for me, Antonio Conte, I think in his last 11 leagues, has won 8 of them in the seasons. Now, he's coming there not to compete for top 4. He's coming there to improve, elevate, and challenge for trophies, whether it's cups, which he's not very successful in, but the league definitely so. So for me, with Spurs, I think the fans should be excited. You've got Richarlison, who I think for 60 million is a versatile forward, can play anywhere across the front 3. And I think he chips in with goals. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not the biggest into sort of players that you call them the shit houses. However, you've got a bit of a shit house in Richarlison that people don't really like, and a bit of a manager like Conte who people don't really like. If they blend together, he could unlock another level of Richarlison we haven't seen. World Cup year, it's a level up for him. He's not going to a team that's demanding to win titles. He's going to a Champions League team where he will start games. Bissouma, Dan said it perfectly as well. I'm a big fan. Manchester United for 25 million. What are you doing? Outside of the top 6 for me, he is the best midfielder that played against the top 6 sides last season. And the perfect game why Conte signed him was when they beat Spurs at Spurs Stadium at the end of the season. They won 1-0. I think Leandro Trossard with the goal. But you know how Harry Kane was dropping in them pockets and playing that assist role and playing them deep line passes? Basuma was absolutely all over him that game. He didn't get a sniff. And Conte must have saw that and said, I need that midfielder. And that's why he's gone and got him. And then you look at, obviously, Jed Spence. And I think where I come to this now with the news that Ornstein's tweeted is that, yes, Jed Spence, I've watched a lot of him. He's not the finished article. I get that. And I understand that. But at 22, 23 years of age, he's there to improve. He's there to mature. Antonio Conte will get a tune out of him. It's about Spurs bringing in players to improve the squad. Perisic does that. Basuma does that.
They all do that. Every single one of
And
them signing improves
every
the
single
squad.
one of them improves the squad. And the last thing, Grizz, sorry, just before I know you come in, is that it's also about a system as well. And when Spurs play Perisic there, who I think was better last year under Inzaghi than he was under Conte, and then you've got Jed Spence, who's a full wide wing back than a full back, it suits him down to a T. And for me, it's talking about depth and quality depth. And Spurs now have that, man. And I think they should be very excited in terms of what they've got so far. They didn't expect it. Spurs fans can be like, oh, we need more. But if you said to them, okay, 14th of June, 14th of July, you'll have this, they wouldn't have believed you. So you get... That's where it is.
You know what? Just quickly as well, Grizz, just very, very quickly. He is winning now. He's not winning next year, 5 years' time. Yeah. He wants to win now. The players he's bought in, Perisic, he's not going to win him anything in 5 years' time. The guy's 33 years old. He's here to win now. And I think he's been clever with that because not only has he bought players like Perisic that are going to win now, he's bought Premier League proven players like Richarlison and like Basuma. And that is going to do them the world of good. And I just feel that they've got a really good, say, 13, 14 players now. And I think that if they keep them fit, they could be a real threat. So I don't like to see it, man. I can't lie.
You don't. I know you don't like to see it, and it's probably paining you. And you know what, Ty, you're right. Fan bases always want more. It's just a fan thing, isn't it? It doesn't matter what you look. I'm telling you, as a Liverpool fan, and I speak to Man City fan, as obviously you do with Daps, but I speak to Steve, and he goes mental at some of the section of the fan base that just, even though we're Liverpool and Man City, they just want new toys, shiny toys, shiny toys all the time. It's natural, right? Especially in this day and age of YouTube and FIFA and everything, because you access to all these players and you want them. Yeah, I get it. But if you told, as Dan says, if you talk about the business they've done in the last two windows, Spurs, in the January transfer window, they secured Bentancur, Kuzelewski. Was there someone else? I don't know. Someone in the chat, let me know. I'm sure there might have been one more. Add to that, come to the transfer summer window where we knew if Levy had any hope of keeping Conte. Do you remember he made that noise in January when Conte made that little bit of noise? He made that noise for a fucking reason. What was the reason? Come summer, if you don't back me, I'm gone. I'm letting you know now. You better back me. I'm letting the public know. I'm letting the media know. I'm letting the fans know. He let everyone know I'm here for a mission. And as Dan says, this guy don't come about to muck about and build. He ain't here to build. He's here to do the right thing. Every single one of those signings, to me, apart from Basuma and Perisic, is a squad signing for me. Spurs fan might argue, you might disagree, whatever. For me, Basuma and Perisic are the ones that improve the first 11. For me, in my opinion. The rest are solid acquisitions. They already know.
Spence might be, Grizz. Spence might get ahead of Emerson.
Only Doherty and he had a good run, but then he was injured after the Leeds game, and then you just can't trust him. I think when you talk about Conte, the big thing for him is trust. And I think Ashley Young, right? I think just quickly, he said he spoke to Expression, or Expression said he spoke to Ashley Young, and he said clearly at Inter Milan, Conte's one of them managers where when you're training and you're working with him, look at him, he's got players collapsing on the pitch in South Korea at the moment. Everyone buys into it. He said the one problem is if one person sort of goes against Conte, the rest then start to follow. And that's where the big problems are. Right now, everyone's buying. And that's what Conte needs. And that's what he wants.
I think Spurs are nailed on for third.
Yeah, I agree.
I get Arsenal have got business to do. We're going to come to it. And I get United have got business to do. We're going to come to it. But right now, if I think everyone's favourite will probably be Spurs for that third spot. I genuinely think the distance between Spurs and Man City and Liverpool will reduce as well. I don't think it will be ridiculous points difference. But I still think Man City and Liverpool are ahead of the.
Are you worried, Grizz? Like I spoke to you. I'll speak off air, but I like to ask questions on air. Yeah. Are you genuinely, because your consensus is City win the league, right? Let's just talk in motion, right? And Liverpool, they're saying, right, without Sadio Mane, they've got to change their dynamic in the start. They play a little bit. You've got Carvalho and obviously Elliott coming into the side. With Liverpool, do you have an inch of you that says, do you know what, if we do slack off, Spurs could sniff us? Or are you quite confident you finish above them, honestly?
I'm very confident we'll finish above them. I've been watching this team in and out. I'm telling you, man, I know this. I know this team, man. It's not a matter of being arrogant about it. I hate that word. And I hate people who think I'm being arrogant, because people that know me. I'm not about that life. But we get slept on, man. And I hear the angle you're coming from. I get it. And everyone has their own opinion. Dan will know. Me and Dan have been speaking for 2 years now. We keep talking about how people keep underestimating this Liverpool team and this manager, and keep saying every season, oh, yeah, man, they're done. We keep coming back stronger and stronger. That one season's got so much people's minds boggling. That one season where we had...
Yeah, Nat Phillips was playing centre-back and stuff like that.
Nat Phillips and Reece Williams, did you, man, see them? Even you guys smoked us 4-0 with these brothers playing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. But what I'm trying to say is, I genuinely think Spurs will come up the ranks 100%. And if we don't improve in terms, and it's not about, I don't want to make it a Liverpool show. I've got a Liverpool show later, but we will talk. We'll have a. What I'm planning on doing is doing a big season preview, and I'm going to get all you brothers on. And we really dig into each other. Really get into each other. I want to get into Arsenal, Dan. I'm going to just very quickly give you my opinion and then you take the floor. I think this is, if you can pull this off, I think this will be one of the smartest moves of the summer. That's my personal opinion. I think this guy is very, very underrated. I think he's very flexible in where he can play. He can play as an 8. He can play on the wing. He can play as a left back. He can play as a wing back. He's very intelligent. And he's coming with a winning mentality from the most successful team in recent history in Premier League terms anyway. I think if you can get this over the line, for me, it's a very shrewd and clever signing. What are you talking about?
One word, interesting. The reason I use this interesting word, I'll tell you why. This guy does not want to come in, from what we're hearing, as a left back. So that's good news for me, because it means he's happy to play in a few areas of the pitch. Now, I see him for Ukraine. He can play as a left 8, and he looks very, very comfortable there. There's rumours he can play as defensive midfield. There's rumours, of course, that he can play as left back. I think this mentality-wise, winning mentality-wise, which I think is important, the relationship he's already got with the manager, the fact Gabriel Jesus is bought into this project and is happy to come here, I think this will be a very smart piece of business. When you compare it to what we were linked with, Lisandro Martinez, who looks, of course, now he's going to go to Manchester United. For half the price, if we could get Zinchenko, I'm taking that all day long, because this guy can play in the same positions as Lisandro Martinez, bar centre-back. I'm sure he could play as a 3 in the back, to be fair, but obviously he can't play at centre-back. But everywhere else he can pretty much play. To near enough get him for what we're hearing, half the price, 25-year-old international, very good for club and
Captain
for country.
As well for Ukraine as well, man. Captain.
So he has, exactly. So he has that leadership qualities there as well. I'm with you, Grizz. I think this would be a very good signing. I'm not getting too excited because, of course, everything can go wrong yet, but it's looking very positive, because when David Ornstein speaks, him and Romano are two of the most reliable for me out there. So I do believe this would be a very, very good signing and a smart piece of business. I'm a little bit, the reason I say it's interesting as well is because who's going to come in after him? Are we going to still go for Tielemans? Is Zinchenko going to be a backup to Kieran Tierney? I doubt it. Is he going to play left back? I doubt it if Kieran Tierney's fit, because he's good enough, Kieran Tierney, in my opinion. He's one of our most important players. That's why it's interesting. Where are we seeing with this? Is this a formation change? Is this a player who can be versatile? Is this going to stop some of the play from Lucas Paqueta links for the Tielemans links? What's going to happen after this signing is my kind of interesting quote. So as much as I like this, I hope this doesn't stop us going for other targets. At the same time, I think it would be a great signing.
Ty, you know what it is? I get Dan's sort of obviously slight pessimism, because they need more. But you can never not have enough quality. You can never not. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay. So always correct me if I say raw things wrong, because I say hello things wrong and no one corrects me, and then people clip it up afterwards and use it against me. That's what you friends are for, correcting me. But listen, you can never not have enough quality. The more quality players you have in your squad, the more chances you have of winning football games.
Exactly.
That is the simple formula of football. Simple layman's, right? I think he's a quality player. I think, as you said, he's a captain of Ukraine. He's a leader. He's winning mentality. What Arsenal lack, right? Winning mentalities and captains, possible leaders. He's flexible in the way he plays. I think it screams at Arteta type signing. I get where Dan's concerns are like, where does he play? What do you think? How do you think he fits into this Arsenal setup? Because I genuinely think he could play as an 8.
I think if you know what Dan touched on there, and one key thing I listened to when he said it, and I relate with so much, is that yes, Martinez, obviously he's coming to United, he's predominantly a centre back and can play at left back. The difference with Zinchenko was obviously he can play at left back, but he's mainly a central midfielder. Now, if you're playing for Ukraine as the captain in the central midfield role, that's where you want to play. That's where you want to play, and that's where he must want to play. I get it, I understand it. It's a bit like the Jesus move. You've won trophies at Man City. You've been a bit part player. You've been part of a team that's been winning things. But at the end of the day, what's the key thing with Zinchenko and Jesus for me? They're both 25 years of age. Grizz, time waits for no man. While we're talking right now, that clock is ticking to 1942. They need to play football games, and they want to play consistently. I think what it is, you get to a point in your career where you've won so much. What can he carry on doing? What can they both carry on doing at Man City? Now it's about, right, I want to focus on my career. I want to get my playing time. And for me, I would play him as a central midfielder. I don't have nothing against Xhaka, by the way. I think he's a good squad player. But I feel like if Arsenal want to elevate, I think him and Partey could be an interesting demographic in the middle of the park, especially with Odegaard maybe playing as a number 8. You've got Fabio Vieira, who's definitely got the legs and there's that mini Bernardo Silva type energy, can get back as well and track back and help the midfield out. I just feel like with what Dan said, the key thing for me is they've got enough centre-backs, Grizz. They've got enough. They've got Gabriel and they've got Saliba there. They've got Ben White. So for me, and then I'm sure there's another one as well, I'm probably missing off the top of my head, but they've got enough centre-backs cover. For me, they need that midfield quality because last year, Lokonga, I'm never the type to get onto players that are young and youthful. I get it. It's hard adjusting to the Premier League, especially coming from Belgium at that age. But if Arsenal want to be going into the top 4, challenging for trophies, like you said, having that quality depth, you need a bit of that experience and that oomph in there. And I feel like Zinchenko will give them something different. Whether my doubt was this, because I chat with an Arsenal season ticket at my work, ticket holder at my work, and he's excited by the move. The positive for me, Dan, for you is 25 million. You said, I want to see what happens after. If you're signing someone for 25 million, there 100% is no doubt that there's room for other players. So that's the comforting feeling for me and you with being an Arsenal fan. It's not 50 million and you're thinking, is anyone else coming? I believe someone else will come in. The second part for me, Grizz, is where me and you come into it. I'm a Manchester United fan and you're a Liverpool fan. Now you go to the Emirates and you're playing against Arsenal and Zinchenko is lining up with Partey in the central midfield. He comes to Old Trafford or whatever. We go to the Emirates and you see Zinchenko and Partey. Does that scare you more than what it was with Xhaka and Partey in midfield? For me, it doesn't. I get it. Zinchenko offers a lot. He's got the experience. He's got very good IQ in the football and he retains the ball well. But for me, I'm looking at Arsenal and I'm like, we can still beat that midfield. We can still overpower that midfield. So it's a very good signing and I get it for the squad size. But in terms of me going to the Emirates and thinking, do you know what? I really fear that midfield. I don't quite have that feeling yet. And that's it's not, I don't want to say it's a down on Zinchenko. It's just my slight reservation of how good will it make Arsenal's midfield, even though he's a good player. Dan, you can probably answer that, but that's my question.
I think it's fair. I think my question back to you would be, would Tielemans and Partey scare you more than Zinchenko and Partey? Because that's the other option. So what I'm getting at is, as much as it might not, I don't think we're going to have two absolute beasts in there. You're going to go, rah, I ain't getting in there. So I'm just being realistic. I could sit there and say to you, that's why I wanted Basuma, because I thought Basuma would have been perfect for that. But I look at this and think maybe Tielemans is there. I like Tielemans. I really like him. I think he'd be a great signing. But it looks like it's going to be potentially him, Lucas Paqueta, or of course now Zinchenko. I'm not sure any of those make you go, wow, this is going to be difficult. I don't think we're at that level at the moment. I think
I was going to say, do you know what? I was going to say, I think Dan, maybe in a nice, polite way, because he supports the club he does, and it's Arsenal we're talking about. I think how I would say it, and I don't need to be polite about Arsenal, because You know, I don't really support them, even though people think I support them. I think Arsenal are buying the players that they can possibly buy in the position they're in, which is not Champions League football.
Yeah,
So the
fair.
quality they're buying. So you got to remember, as we discussed with Spurs, even though they're in Champions League, they're not really buying Champions League name players they needed for Champions League. Those players would have come to Spurs even if they didn't have Champions League, in my opinion. Arsenal are not in Champions League, so they need to be smart, clever, shrewd. I get what you're saying. That midfield wouldn't scare me. Midfield wouldn't scare me. 100% it wouldn't. But I think it's an upgrade on Xhaka.
Yeah,
I think he's
middle ground, isn't
far
it?
more. I think he's, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to bring in better, far more intelligent, far more flexible players than the ones he's got. So, for example, Dan will tell you Xhaka played at left back a few times this season. Absolute fucking train wreck, right? But Zinchenko, imagine Zinchenko was Xhaka playing as an eight, and then had to go left back. Nice. Yeah, see the difference. Even if they needed for a away game him to play on the left, nice. Zinchenko is a very, very smart operator. That's what I think is. I don't think you get him for 25 million though. If you got aspirations of getting him for 25 million, I think it could be long.
I've not heard the fee. I thought it
I
was
think
30,
I think 30 million fair, man. I think 30 million fair.
No, I think for us, but City will want 35. City want 35. Listen, there's over 200 of you in here. Hopefully, hit the like button. You know, what I mean, it helps with algorithms and all that apparently. But next player I want to come to is, next club I want to quickly touch upon before we go to the United news is Chelsea, man, making moves. So we know they've got Koulibaly, we know they've got Sterling, and now there's talks of another centre back, possibly Ake, and possibly this guy. Both players that I'm personally not huge fans of. In fact, I'm more of a fan of Ake than Kimpembe.
Wow, we think alike.
Even though Kimpembe may be the bigger name, more physical prowess, struts around in Paris like he owns it. For me, he ain't done shit. Yeah, for France or for PSG. That's just me. In the Champions League, he's an error. For me, he reminds me of, and Liverpool fans will relate.
You're gonna say Sakho, aren't you?
Mamadou Sakho.
Yeah,
bro.
Grizz, man.
Mamadou Sakho.
We're in sync, brother.
So I'm gonna. Well, either one of you can go first. What do you think about this one?
I'll go
my opinion first, but give your honest opinion.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like the Kimpembe one, I've always been this guy that I just think he's overrated, and for me, because he's at PSG, other players like Marquinhos, who I really am a big fan of, Thiago Silva, who was there in the last 7-8 years before Chelsea moved, can make this player look better. And I believe that obviously with Kimpembe, the way I do respect him, he is a bit of a leader for his age. He has been captain quite a lot of times. He is 26 now, so he wants to be sort of established within a team. But if you were that good, for me, you would have established yourself at PSG if you were that good. And there's just question marks for me. I just feel like what you said of Mamadou Sakho, oh my God, I was thinking it. A left-footed centre-back that probably gets covered in the back three at Chelsea, but there's always something in him like an error or, a player gets through last man and he pulls him down and a red card comes out and the whole game plan's gone out the window for Tuchel. For me, the Koulibaly signing is a good signing. Like, he's 31. One thing about him that people obviously question is whether he's got the pace for the Premier League still in terms of the mobility side, but he's durable. He's played over 30 games the last 5 seasons. I think that's a perfect signing in terms of leadership. And Thiago Silva being 37, they need a bit of a big cojones in there, especially losing Rudiger, who I put Rudiger, Bailly, and sort of Koulibaly in that sort of same framework of the way they play. But Kimpembe, for me, I'm with you, Grizz. Ake should be the one. And I think Ake last year was probably one of his best seasons at Man City. It goes under the radar, but he fielded at left back quite a bit. And he played at centre back because John Stones and Laporte weren't fully... Diaz was struggling with injuries. And I just feel like Ake's one of them players that the talent is there, but it's about getting that run of games and that consistency. And I feel like at Chelsea on that left-handed side, if it's him and Thiago Silva and Koulibaly, I think that's a very good dynamic. You've got something different in every centre-back. And for me, it's about what complements each other in a team. And them three do. Kimpembe, honestly, I just have big question marks. And he's the type of player that Juventus interested in. I could imagine him at Juventus. Like that move for me, Juventus signed Kimpembe makes sense. A team that are looking to sort of redevelop themselves and they come fourth in the league. They didn't win the Serie A. The pressure's not as what it was 4 years ago for Juventus. Kimpembe, I'm not sold. Aki is the better move for Chelsea, even though they sold him and it looked like they're going to buy him back.
Dan, Kimpembe, Ake, both. I don't think. I think they're probably going for both in the hope they get one. But you never know. If they get both, that's crazy. That's 3 left-sided centre backs. It doesn't make sense to me. But you know, I mean, I've got enough abuse of Chelsea fans for it, so I'm going to keep quiet.
Yeah, but I'm 100% with you, mate. So I'll probably get abuse from it as well. I don't really understand where they're going there. For me, I look at
Cyrus
it.
says Dan Potts as a guest. I didn't know this channel had celebrities on their streams. So there's 2
Big
things.
up yourself, Cyrus.
So 2 things. 2 things. There's no doubt he's a celebrity. There's no doubt about that. But you didn't already know that with some of the people I've had on this channel? Come on, Cyrus. Show some respect. Go on, so Dan.
Nah, it's calm. Thank you. Big up yourself, Cyrus, as well. Now, listen, I don't know what it is, but I look at all 3 of these players and I don't go, oh, I'm really worried. I am really worried with Chelsea. I don't think I've ever rated Nathan Ake to the standard of some. I don't really understand the Kimpembe praise. I'm not sure. He looks all right, but he doesn't look this absolute monster. And I have question marks, and that's all it is at the moment. I have question marks over Koulibaly. And the reason I have question marks over Koulibaly is because I got rinsed years ago, and it's never let me down. And I've never been able to let it go because we played them when we got battered in Baku in the final. We played Napoli before getting Chelsea in Baku. And I said to the guys, this guy's a monster. Koulibaly's just absolute monster. Just what Arsenal need. Mustafi we had at the time, I think Socrates, players like that. I said, we need somebody like this guy. Like, he's an absolute beast of a monster. He's about 28 at the time or something like that. I said, this guy is at his prime. He's going to be class, trust me. And Lucas Torreira put him into a pretzel. And I just got absolutely rinsed for weeks. Like, this guy sucks. He's no good. So I thought, oh, okay. Then I started to look at him and thought, no, this is definitely a good centre-back. And I started to look at him and I have question marks over how suited he could be to the Premier League. I like the fact that he's an absolute rock. I like that. He's got a Sol Campbell presence about him. I like that. But I question the fact at 31 going on 32 that there could be some question marks there. That's all I'm saying. I don't think this is going to be, you know, and Matisse was saying earlier, yeah, but he's the same age as Van Dijk. I don't think you can compare the two. For me, Van Dijk is sitting there. He's been proven for the last 5 years to be one of the best centre-halves in the world for me. So when I look at Koulibaly, I think there's question marks, and that's all I'll say on it. As for the other 2 coming in, all I would say about Chelsea, and I find it bizarre, I can reel off Chelsea youngsters they've let go that have gone on to have good careers in the Premier League and outside of it, like Tomori, like Mark Gahey, like Lamptey, like Livramento. Actually take a look at some of these players you've got. One of them was at Huddersfield last season.
And it looks like he's going to leave Colville.
Looks like he could be another Mark Gahey situation. Take a look at some of them before you start spending money on Nathan Ake, who, by the way, you already got rid of, and the other guy that we just mentioned, Kimpembe. I'd be taking a look at those if I'm Chelsea, first of all, because I think that's something Chelsea should be looking at more. They've got a great youth system. Use it, man. Use it, because some of these guys have gone on to have good careers. So maybe they don't need to go for Kimpembe, Kwende, and Nathan Ake. Maybe they've already got some gems hidden in the youth system, man. Give him a chance.
Do you know what, quickly, Dan? Just to say, you know, we Koulibaly, because I'm like you. At 31, I believe that he should have come to the Premier League 3 years ago. There was a game I even watched. There was a game I watched with Liverpool, and Grizz will remember it. Salah had him isolated in 1v1 situations and sort of like dragged the ball to his right past him, and he really struggled. And I think, Dan, where your reservations are, I don't know if you agree with me, but it's in terms of when you're playing in Italy, it's a slower league, and you're quite deep as a centre back. I know the game is evolving in Italy, but you play quite deep. I feel like Koulibaly, in terms of he's very muscular, like you said, Sol Campbell presence, but people getting in behind him and having to change direction. I just think that we're going to see a different test of Koulibaly than what we've seen in his whole career so far. And I agree with you. I'm intrigued. I think that's the word I want to use.
Yeah, good question marks for me.
I'm intrigued to see how he deals with the pace element.
I don't want all 3 of us to agree on this or on a lot of things, because you know it's fun when we disagree. But I think both of you have nailed it. And I gave my opinions on Koulibaly last night to the disdain of a lot of Chelsea fans. If you check my messages, you lot will laugh. I've had some nice messages from Chelsea people, nice messages, and they know I love them. But all I said was Koulibaly, Silva in the Premier League in the same defense, and you're going to be relying them on a majority of the 38 games that you play in the league, amongst other games. I just think all I said is I'm not sure. And those are the reasons why I said it, because in isolation, those two centre backs, let's not get it twisted, they are the most, for me, absolute monster of centre backs. For me, Silva is, I always forget his first name. Help me out in it.
Thiago.
I always call him Gilberto because of, because
What? Because I look like him, do I?
no. But
Pulling
I
leg.
always call him Gilberto Silva. But Thiago Silva, for me, for my favourite centre back of the last, one of my favourite centre backs of the last decade. He's not spoken about
Yeah,
enough.
agreed.
Absolute monster. But he's
Yeah, agreed.
38. Wait, he's 38. Now, I'm telling you now, I don't wish injury upon any player, even if it's a Chelsea player. Let's get it out there. He's going to break down, man. He's going to suffer from injuries. Then you're bringing in Koulibaly, who at 31, again, Koulibaly should have gone to a bigger club than Napoli. With all respect to Napoli, he should be playing a long time ago at a big club, right? I'm talking iconic club, and he didn't. And I think it's affected him as a player because he didn't, because he hasn't been tested. Napoli are comfortable, 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever. They're comfortable there. So he didn't get tested. That's why he's going to be tested big time in the Premier League. And especially if they play back five and they're looking to attack fullbacks up halfway up the pitch, he's going to be isolated, dragged out like Salah dragged him out.
Yep.
I rate Koulibaly. I love him in isolation, but them two on the same side, I don't know. But listen, Dan, I know we got to let you run, so I'm going to do you the next question. There we go. Before we get into the crux of it with Ty, your thoughts on Man United's pursuit of Frankie de Jong? It's quite the circus over there, but looks like it's finally coming to an end.
Yeah, this one is madness. I mean, what a madness. This has been going on for what feels like 4 years now. I do believe it will happen because obviously Ten Hag is his guy. I think this will be really interesting now for me to look at where Man United are going compared to Arsenal, because I felt like we were in the same we're kind of the same clubs at the moment. Like we're in a mess, both of us. Two clubs that I absolutely loved and respected growing up. Of course, I think everybody did. One of them was Man United. I hated them, and I still do, but I absolutely respect them. I don't think anybody cannot for what they did, but they are a complete and utter mess at the moment. I've been so confused with what they're trying to do. I see young players coming in. I see players that are ready now to come in. I don't understand where they're going. Now, I think, personally, what they should have done was got in Diego Simeone and gone, we need to try and win now. A little bit like what Antonio Conte is doing at Spurs. Back him, give him what he needs, and go and win now. But you've got to go one or two ways. You've either got to go that way, or you've got to go Ten Hag come in, we're taking 3 years to get back to the top, and we've accepted it's going to take that long. Now, I don't like that route because that's the route that Arsenal have taken, and it doesn't take 3 years, trust me. It takes double that. So if you go the route we've gone. So that's what Man United fans have to look at. Now, I look at this signing and think it's a good one for the manager that's come in. And I also look at Lisandro Martinez and think that's the key reason he's gone there as opposed to Arsenal. It could be that we wanted Zinchenko all this time, of course. But it looks to me as if he's this guy that he wants there. If you back Ten Hag, which I think you should do now, I think finally you might have something to work with now, because the last times it's just not happened. You've tried to go with the winning route, you've tried to go with the club legend, the sentimental stuff. It's not working. You now need the experience, and I think Ten Hag has got that, and he's obviously got some winning mentality and an attractive style of football. I think Manchester United could be onto a winner if they stick with this guy and kind of work alongside him and allow the people around him to work. If this does not work, I'm sorry, but where do you go? You've tried everything. Is problems at the top. The ownership have to be questioned. And I think we're similar at Arsenal. I think we're very, very similar. If we were run differently, it's not about spending money, because we've spent the most net, Arsenal and United, along with City and Chelsea, I think, and PSG. It's not about spending money. It's about recruitment, spending it wisely, and having a well-run club like Grizz will say, Liverpool, even ones that aren't as massively successful, Leicester, Benfica, Dortmund. These are all well-run football clubs, in my opinion. I look at Manchester United and Arsenal, and I think they're clueless. I think they're just spending loads and loads of money and not going with it. So the route that I would want as a Man United fan would be trying to do the Diego Simeone side of things.
Yeah, that's very interesting, Dan. I disagree, but I respect
that's because I demand the best, and he demands the best, and he'll want Man United to win now, not in 5 years' time. But maybe United need to sit back, strip it back, and go again. Guys, I have got to shoot, but that's my say on it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Dan, it's been a pleasure. I know you got to run, Dan. Always a pleasure. Look after yourself. Hope to chat you soon. Your link to your channel is in the description. People, go and check out Dan's channel. He's always doing great things as always.
Dan,
We'll
bless
catch
up
up
as well,
real
my brother.
soon.
Nice meeting you, man.
Take
You
care.
too, Ty. Grizz, always a pleasure. Take care, guys.
Look after yourself.
I think that is very interesting how I like that you let him
Well, it's me and you now, and it's Liverpool Man United now for the remaining 10-15 minutes. I've got my nachos right here.
You're gonna let me talk. You're gonna let me just run the floor, and then you're gonna dissect.
No. People that know and watch my channel and hear me know I've dissected Man United down to a T. I think you may agree with majority of what I say anyway, but I haven't heard you speak on it. I want you to speak on a couple of things. Okay. I want to start with the Cristiano Ronaldo situation.
Yep.
And how do you see it ending now? One or the other.
Sure.
And how it's been dealt with. And how it's been dealt with. Then the Frankie de Jong. Sorry. Yeah. And then we go on to Lisandro Martinez.
So Ronaldo. I'll do Ronaldo and de Jong first then. And then
yeah.
Okay, so Ronaldo, the short answer in terms of what happens with him, I believe he stays. I don't want that to happen, but I'll be honest with you right now. I believe he stays at the football club. I don't think there's many takers right now for a 37-year-old that has 2 years left in terms of being at the top level. But I think what clubs have noticed is that Ronaldo is about Ronaldo, and you know, it's a team game. And this is where I'm going to go into my answer now of what I want. Ronaldo stays. I want him to go, and I'm ready for him to leave. And Grizz, I said it before he signed. It was so funny. Statman, Arbiz, all the people I do Man United content with were ringing up my phone. Ronaldo's coming. I was the only one, Grizz. Staps. I was the only one who I knew was saying I didn't want him. Me and Rants did not want Ronaldo at the football club. It was a backwards move. Sentiment come into it from 08. Different type of player now. Changes the way he plays a game of football. And for me, how I look at it, right, and that where I disagree with Dan is that we've got a manager now in Erik ten Hag who I believe is that 3-year type of manager that we need to back and let him build his system. We've tried the Van Gaals, we've tried Mourinho, we tried sentiment with Oli, and it hasn't worked. But I can look you in the eye, Grizz. I've watched football for years. That Erik ten Hag is the manager I'm the most happy with since Ferguson's left the club. Now, all it takes is to look at Tuesday's game. Now, everyone knows what my pillow is here. Everyone knows what the top is here, but I'm forgetting the biasness now. I'm talking about my club. Now, Manchester United are a team that need to build. Erik ten Hag is a manager that has won stuff for Ajax. However, he's not the be-all and end-all. He's not a Pep or Mourinho that has been around the world and won major competitions. This, for me, is a match made in heaven, Grizz. Erik ten Hag has won things at Ajax. He's now coming to Manchester United to get us back where we want to be, but he's hungry himself. Erik ten Hag has not won everything. He's not coming here for a nice ride. He's coming here to also challenge himself, and people need to remember that. He's coming to the club to challenge himself, elevate himself, prove to himself that he can manage a club that's not just winning everything, that a club that's trying to get back to the top. Then you've got Ronaldo, who's won everything. He's done everything. He ain't going to be able to adapt and change his game at 37. Now, for me, Ten Hag and the way he plays football is about retaining the ball, attractive football, working hard, pressing, 6-second press like Pep does, run for that ball, get it back as quick as possible. Now, Anthony Martial started up front on Tuesday. And we saw a different Manchester United. Forget his loan spell. We're talking about a fit, happy Martial that Ten Hag seems to be having close chats with and says, I believe in you. What does Martial do? He brings the team together. He's a glue stick. He's like Firmino in his prime. He makes people around him better. I saw a Rashford that, yes, he wasn't great, but he was better. I saw a Jadon Sancho that looked fresh, energized, confident. He was linking up with Martial, knowing he'd get the ball back. And one thing that stands out for me, which people might disagree with, but I think a lot of people will agree with, is Bruno Fernandes. Now, he had a good game. People said he was quiet, but for the right reasons, Grizz. I said it to Saeed and everyone agreed. He wasn't doing his spamming. He wasn't being reckless with the ball. It's like Ten Hag reined him in. And what happens is, when Bruno plays, he likes to occupy the number 9 spaces. Martial has the IQ and the ability to hold up the ball and link up play. He drops into the number 10 role, and they kind of cross over like this, so that it benefits Bruno Fernandes. So for me, in terms of the team demographic and what Ten Hag wants to build, he wants to elevate himself. He wants to improve the squad. He's got a group of players now that are 25, 26, down to 21 years of age and whatnot. They all come up together. It's about the whole freshen up now. Get rid of Ronaldo, improve that demographic, get everyone buying into the project, and we move forward. Now, I'm happy to take defeats. I'm happy to take losses. But one thing, Grizz, is what you've done with Liverpool. And I always say I hate it, but this is our Jurgen Klopp project. You knew what Jurgen Klopp was doing. You were all happy to give him time, but you lost some games. But you went to games at Anfield and you felt like, do you know what? I love watching this team. I can see what they're doing. This is what I want now. Better football. Trophies come later. And with Ten Hag and what he needs to do, Ronaldo, goodbye. Ten Hag, the rest of these players, let's build together. We've got something good there. The harmony looks right, man. And that's my say on Ronaldo, first of all.
No, very quickly, we're gonna keep it moving because I just realised I've got another show as well in a minute.
Sorry, man. Yeah,
nothing
too much on this. There's rumours about a failed medical. I've got a couple. I'll be honest, guys. I'll tweet something if I know it concrete. I've had a couple murmurs in my group chat, and it was more negative than positive. But it's not from my number one source, who is the only one I trust, like Grizz knows. So until then, I'm just sitting pretty. I think what it is, John, just to be short, a long deal that's taken time would lead to speculation. It's only natural. People are like, where is it? So people start talking. That's life.
Fair enough. Appreciate the super chat. Got another one from Mark who says, Grizz, big up to you and the panel. If you can, debunk Georgia Nicola's news that Paul have opened negotiations for Anthony. Thank you. I don't debunk other people's news. If that's what the other people's news is, then that's fair play. And you know how I operate. If I hear something, I tell you guys, I share it with you guys. So, but I don't debunk other people's news. So as far as I know, there's no negotiations with Anthony. As far as I know, if there is, big up George Nicola's news. But as far as I know, there's no nothing going on with him right now.
De Jong,
bro, talk to me, De Jong. It's the big circus at Old Trafford. Is he coming? He's not coming. Barcelona treating him like shit. I'm not even going to lie. You guys begging for him, even though it's so apparent that he don't really want to leave Barcelona. And I'm not saying he doesn't want to come to United. He just doesn't want to leave Barcelona.
Yeah.
Before Man United start saying, no, but what do you mean he's going to end up at bare players like that? They don't want to come and they end up there. I get all of that. I'm not saying he hates Man United. I'm saying he loves Barcelona, but they're treating him like shit. Finally, looks like there's some light at the end of the tunnel.
Finally, do you know what? It's been a long time coming. I've actually heard from a good representative that De Jong actually wants to step Barcelona, so that side of it is true. He wasn't very keen on coming, but it's clear to see why he would be coming. It's the Eric Ten Hag effect. Ten Hag knows how he's going to play, knows what he wants to be doing when he's on that pitch and playing. And I think I said about Zinchenko and Jesus at 25 years of age, which De Jong is. It's now about, there's three things that come into it for me, and Barcelona need to get rid because they want to register players. They're signing players and he's thinking, where's my money? Now, let's be honest, guys. We're sitting here pretty from our seat at home right now. If I'm owed 13 million, I want that money. I don't care. Let's be honest. People, you go to the shop and spend money on a can of Coke. You want your change, right? You're talking about pennies. We're talking about millions. So let's put context into it and be real here. I think what it is with De Jong, he wants to stay at Barcelona, but Grizz, we watch football. We know how they play. Busquets in at the number 6. They've got Pedri, Gavi coming through. Now, for me, De Jong's been there for 2 years. He struggled under Koeman, and he's not really got game time under Xavi. Now, yes, he might want to stay there because it's a nice city to live in and stuff like that. But De Jong, do you care about playing football? Do you care about establishing yourself and starting? You stay at Barcelona, you're not going to be a starter anyway. You're not going to be playing games regularly anyway. The position you want to play, they're not playing you there. They play a 4-3-3. You want to play in a pivot. They don't do that. So, for me, in terms of the move, I think it does happen. I think it's the perfect move for us because the reason I say that is I don't care about the money and how much it costs. When a manager comes in, Grizz, and as you know, Alisson signed for 60 million, Van Dijk for 80 million. What do? They transform your side. De Jong transforms our midfield. We've been crying out for it. 70 million, 80 million, whatever it is, you pay it because that's Ten Hag's priority. You don't let a manager come in his first season and not give him what he wants. Now, Ten Hag has always said he wants De Jong as his number one signing. So I want that to happen. And fingers crossed it does. And I think where it leaves us going forward, it's an exciting perspective because I don't want to see another Pogba situation. And that's the only thing I'm worried about. You sign a player that you think transforms your side, which is a brilliant midfielder in De Jong. But then who do you pair him with? Do you play him in a position that he wants to play in, or are you playing him in positions because you haven't got the other players to sort of combat that, and then you're taking something away from his game and then he's scapegoated? So for me, if Manchester United sign him, we need to find the right person to, pair up with him. And the only worry I have with this, Grizz, and it's not a worry for me personally because it's not my money. The question mark surrounding all this is, one, I think De Jong comes. Two, I think it's a great signing. 100% we need it. 3, this money situation. Now, we've not really heard about this sort of money situation happening in football a lot because COVID was a thing that happened only a couple of years ago. But we're talking about a deal, right? It's 85 million. Now, 2 weeks ago, it was 65 million plus 20. Today, it's 75 million plus 10, as Ornstein tweeted. Now, he's owed money from Barcelona. My gut tells me, Grizz, that Manchester United have said that they're going to pay some of that money. Now, it's not been reported anywhere. This is my feeling. I think Manchester United have upped the initial bid and said, you know what? We're going to cover some of that, them wages owed from Barcelona, and Barcelona will chip in with the rest, and they're going to try and come to a mutual agreement. Now, you as a Liverpool fan, if that does happen, do you think that's bad on Man United, or do you think that's good because it's getting a priority signing through, and whether it's 6 million or 7 million, how much we help out, we're trying to get it over the line? And me and Saeed had this conversation earlier. So you as a neutral, I want to see what you think.
For me, it's not even a debate for me. I don't know what you said. I don't know what Saeed said. But for me, it's not even a debate, especially in the position that you're in, especially the coach that
you agree with me that you pay it.
Especially, as I said, I didn't know you said that, but I'm telling you now, if Ten Hag is my new coach and I've had the shambles that I've had for the last 5 years and seen the shit that I've seen for the last 4 or 5 years, I'm going with Ten Hag. If Ten Hag wants Frankie de Jong, I don't give a shit if he costs 100 million or 5 million.
Thank you.
I don't care. It's like people talking about Nunes and Cavalli and people saying, oh, are you excited to see? I said, me, I can't give a shit if Nunes is 100 million, 8 million. Fabio is 5 million. I just want the player clock once. And for me personally, I'm excited for Fabio Carvalho, who is 5 million, then Nunes is 80 million. So if I was in your boat, if he's the man that you want, or Ten Hag wants as the linchpin of his team, driving force, playmaker, technician, all of that, you go get him. I don't give a shit how much he's owed. We're not accountants. It's not our money. We want the best. Yes, sometimes you have to be pragmatic in terms of your thinking and not want your club to go into bankruptcy, which you guys are not going into. But after that, you do what you got to do to attain success. And if that's backing Ten Hag, you 100% got to do that. Where I will vehemently disagree with you. Okay. Vehemently disagree. And I think I've had a few, I think this is where I got to know you on Twitter. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but someone I don't know, I saw your tweets about Martial or something and I just laughed. Whatever. Must have been a little while ago. I can't remember, whatever. People that have been subscribing, unfortunately, for a long time, big up you, mans, will know that I've been telling people about Martial years ago, that he's dead food. Just because he raped, bad word, sorry, just because he destroyed Skirtle, right, who was one of our worst defenders, man, ever. Don't let the hype get you. He scored a few headers and this and that. Skirtle was poor. Just because he'd done Skirtle many years ago, and then Martin Tyler, done what he done live on commentary and ejaculated. People think, this was it. Martial was ready to take on the world. I said, nah, Martial's not going to have a successful career. He's going to be an average player. He's going to be a mere player. People told me Ballon d'Or, this and that. You're coming again, telling me the renaissance of Martial. He's coming. I see the pillow. I see everything. I'm willing to live and exclusive. There's about 210 people in it. I'm telling you now, if he reaches between 12 and 15 goals in all competitions, I'll come here and apologize to you live on
okay, we've got this,
100%.
Well, 12 to 15 in all comps, yeah?
Yeah, 12 to 15 goals in all comps. If Martial
I don't know if you're a betting man, but I don't want to do. I don't know if it's.
No. We're not gonna do money bet. We're gonna do food because
there we go.
Because we've just realized you're down the road and I'm down the road. We just realized we're gonna link up, right? And it's not gonna be me and you. We're gonna treat Daps and we're gonna try to get down Kaz as well. Your crew, the whole crew. Shout out to Never Foul because we're gonna end the stream on this. People in the chat remember this. Me and Ty are saying, okay, let's not 12 to 15. Let's just make a figure. Shall we say 14?
14, middle mark. Okay, yep.
Are you okay with that?
Yep, 14.
14 goals, 14 and below. Ty is treating me, and we will live record it. If he scores more than 14 goals, I'm treating Ty. You know what I mean? I might even treat. I'm going to treat Thai to Thai food. So go on, we say.
There we go. Okay, so just quickly then. Obviously, you said you disagreed on the Martial statement. Obviously, just throwing a bit of banter out there. I've got to say, he's up and running in terms of preseason against you guys. This played very well. I think your centre backs Gomez very much struggled with him. If I'm honest, if you watch the first half, running the channels, he pinched Gomez a few times. I think.
So one second. Sorry, Ty. This brother's been saying a few comments. Right.
Okay. Well,
side effect. Bunch of hypocrites. So money doesn't matter. When it comes to Chelsea, backing the manager, you start chatting shit bollocks. I saw your comments earlier on as well. Hit us, give us what we said which was bollocks instead of just shouting bollocks. Even though you're a Chelsea fan, you've watched the whole of the show because I've seen you in the chat. And you know me, I like putting your comments out just in case you think I'm only bringing out the happy, big up Grizz and the panel comments. I like bringing up all comments. I can't find the rest of yours, but it's about your third, fourth comment, cussing the show and cussing us. I've said, Koulibaly is a monster in isolation. I've praised Silva as one of the best players I've ever seen in my centre back of the last decade. I'm just giving my opinion on my fucking channel. My opinion on my fucking channel that I have my doubts about it. If he proves me wrong, side effect, come on and chat shit. Otherwise, shut your mouth. Sorry, Ty.
Nah, there you go, man. And keep supporting the channel.
I don't know why they think they can, like, you know, why they can get away with that.
And the truth is as well, like you said, we complimented Thiago Silva and Koulibaly. But I'm telling you now, side effect, if you went away from Chelsea, more people would doubt Kimpembe and Aki than they'll be happy with it. Trust me.
It's not about money. It's about you can spend what you want, how you want.
Doesn't matter.
We're here to give our opinion on a player, on a formation. I'm so sorry, Ty.
It's cool, man. It's cool. It's got to be done, man. You got to do your thing, man. And big up everyone that's watching as well. Make sure you like and subscribe. And like I'm about to say casting, like Chris said, our channel's never a foul. It's down below. So make sure you subscribe for all our generic content on there. So I'm always on there doing bits and bobs, man. And me and Grizz have got something coming very soon next season.
100%.
Well, so don't worry. But Grizz, my last question for you, because I know you've got to wrap up in a second. So obviously Martial, when you saw his performance, taking away the biasness of me, but you saw his performance for the team and how and he got man of the match, and you can see a little bit of whoa, okay, Ten Hag might get something out of him. Now my point is with Ronaldo coming back. Now, if you're Ronaldo, how do you go about showing Ten Hag that you're not just about scoring goals and you can do the overall link-up play, hold-up play and stuff like that? Like, do you see Ronaldo just walking back into this side, honestly? Or do you think, you know what, Ten Hag will do what's best for the team, and if Ronaldo doesn't 100% suit me, you're not playing?
I think it's a problem. I think it's a genuine problem. That's why I agree with you that Ronaldo, you need to clean slate it. But they haven't. It looks like they haven't. It looks like no one wants Ronaldo, to be honest with you. His agents tried to whore him out to many a club. And I said it as soon as I heard about Ronaldo, check it out, Tyrone. People will tell you, I said, no one's going to come in for him. I said, no one's going to come. I said, no serious club is going to come for Ronaldo. People are like, oh, shut up, man. This is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's going to get offered. I said, no serious club. And all the other unserious clubs, Ronaldo's got too much of a pride to go to them. Or he's going to be either Chelsea, PSG, Bayern, or stay at Man United.
He's going to stay, Grizz. We know it. See?
And none of them came in for him.
He's going to come back, and that's when the problem starts.
It's going to come back. It's going to be a problem for the likes of Martial, Rashford. Same thing, Sancho. These mans can't play their natural game when you got Ronaldo next to you.
Mad, innit? It's mad. It's mad. It's horrible.
We've all been there. We've all played 5-6 aside, or we've all played 11 aside with our boys. We know there's a one player that we don't want on our team, man. He wrecks the style of our play. We know we can ball out if we have just our lot and just someone to do the job. But we know if he's on our side, you know what I mean? He's a star. We know we can't say too much to him. He's a badder man than us.
You know what I mean? To him, or he's going to moan
he's played Premier League, semi-pro. We're just street ballers. We want to do our thing. We want to play our system. He's going to hog the ball. He's going to shout us. That's Ronaldo down to it.
Man.
That's what's going to happen to you lot. But I'm happy that he's staying. I'm so happy that he's staying.
Are.
Yeah.
Man, we'll have to see what happens, man.
100%. Listen, we got to wrap it up because I've got to run. Yeah. It's been a pleasure. We could have chatted for hours and hours. And that's what the beauty of a chat is, when you can just chat.
Bro, that hour was one of the quickest hours of my life. And do you know what? First time of many more to come. Trust me.
100%. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Daily Grizz was supposed to fly through, but me and Ty thought we'd give you a little extra Man United slagging session at the end. Hope most of you probably still enjoyed that. But listen, go and check out his content. It's just not Man United. Them boys are doing big things. And I keep saying it and I mean it. It's not always about the content. Of course, content helps because they're doing great content, but they're great guys. And when great guys get together, that's the thing you need to respect and appreciate, man. I love great guys, and these guys are great guys. So go. Yeah, exactly. So go and check them out. People, I'm going to be back later. So I'm going on City Extra now. But I'm going to be back at 10:30. Me and Steve will be looking forward to tomorrow. couple of injury situations to report, couple of possible lineups to suggest and then talk about. So don't forget, 10:30, I'll be back for Carnage, the pre-match hype show with me and Steve. This has been your Daily Grizz. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Peace. Take